Who could have known space was hiding these secrets? From intriguing UFO encounters to breathtaking solar eruptions, the universe never ceases to astonish, especially the gorilla that invaded the International Space Station. But more on that later. Today's video is all about the bizarre and odd phenomena witnessed in the vast, inky darkness surrounding our planet. So grab your pillow, get cozy, and join us on a mission to discover the secrets of space captured through the camera lens, along with the wonders that await. Let's dive in. Number 1. Buddy's Spot UFO. So, back in January 2017, John Craddock, a guy super into watching the NASA live feed, found something strange. He was showing his buddy how to catch live shots from the International Space Station. Suddenly, John sees something he's never seen before on the NASA live feed. A weird object floating above Earth. And not just floating, this thing starts getting bigger right in front of their eyes. The object hangs out for a solid 20 seconds and then zooms off into nowhere. John was convinced it was a UFO because there's no way humans have made something that big that can fly that high and just disappear. But then you've got NASA coming in with their plethora of explanations. They don't know for sure what it was, but according to NASA, it could have been reflections from the station windows, or maybe the camera lens catching some weird light. Another proposed explanation was these were lights from Earth playing tricks. But I don't know, those explanations kind of feel a bit too convenient, don't they? How that light just disappeared doesn't sit right. Number 2. Moonwalk struggles. Did you know the moon's gravity is only 1/6 of Earth's? Walking on the moon is tricky, especially in those bulky, heavy spacesuits. Human bodies are so used to Earth's gravity, so walking here feels like nothing. But watch these astronauts on the moon, and it's a whole different story because of the lower gravity. Oh, and did I mention our balance is all about this fluid in our ears that relies on gravity? With that laggy feedback on the moon, it's like learning to walk all over again, with more falling over than you'd like. But astronauts still got to do their thing, so astronauts are trained to deal with this issue. This is why these guys are quickly getting up each time they fall down using a technique they have practiced. They get on their knees and kick themselves back up. Look at them hopping around. How wild is that? Number 3. Alien Fleet. The International Space Station has a camera strapped to capture its deep, inky surroundings, and broadcasts live 24/7. But one day, something unusual caught the eye of the observers on one of the cameras pointed at Earth. A mysterious group of lights drifting past the ISS. What could it be? At first glance, it definitely gives off those alien craft vibes like they're out for a cosmic cruise, but NASA swoops in with an explanation that is even more wild to think about than aliens. Apparently, these lights are fishing boats on Earth. Turns out fishermen use super bright bulbs to lure in Japanese flying squids. And these lights are just those bulbs shining brightly in the night. And as the space station rotates, the lights appear to be moving. Or it is just aliens, and NASA lied. Who knows? Number 4. Operation Fishbowl. What you are seeing is no supernova. It is something no less terrifying and closer to Earth. These explosions are a series of high-altitude nuclear tests conducted by the USA, better known as Operation Fishbowl. Taking place during the Cold War, these tests aimed to see what happens when you set off nukes in the upper atmosphere, near space. From our perspective on Earth, it might resemble epic space fireworks. But the truth is not so pretty. These explosions unleashed high electromagnetic pulses that messed with communications and power systems over a wide area. These high-altitude nuclear tests didn't just end with flashy displays, they also left a mess behind. The upper atmosphere was polluted with space debris and radioactive waste. Pretty sure that's something we don't want in the air, right? Number 5. Spacewalk Pioneer. This dude did something no one had ever done before. Meet Bruce McCandless, making history as he floats around in space, untethered to the space shuttle. On February 7th, 1984, Bruce straps on this brand new jetpack called the Manned Maneuvering Unit and steps off the shuttle into space. And just like that, he became the first person to do an untethered spacewalk. Just imagine the surrealism of it all for him, floating out there, surrounded by the vast emptiness of space. And let's not forget the dangers he is facing. One little hiccup in that suit, and he could have been lost to the cosmos forever. But did that stop him? Nope. Bruce kept on flying for a solid 4 hours before floating back to the safety of the space shuttle. Talk about heart-stopping, but hey, that's what makes him a legend. Number 6. Space shadows. When the moon slides between the sun and Earth, it creates a solar eclipse. Witness the International Space Station capturing the moment of a total solar eclipse over an area of Earth. While people there might be thrilled to see the ring of fire from space, it looks rather ominous and somber. Thankfully, it doesn't last long. It's almost as if that spot on Earth got scorched. It's all about perspective, isn't it? From this angle, it looks like a ghost town, but on Earth, people would be enjoying the spectacle. Number 7. Rocket launch from space. Have you ever seen a rocket launch from space? In November of 2018, a Russian rocket was launched from Kazakhstan. This is a time-lapse captured from the International Space Station. The rocket was carrying a module called 71 Progress to deliver supplies to the ISS. From city lights to clouds, and from golden atmospheric airglows to the distant stars, this time-lapse has it all. The gold and blue bands of atmospheric airglow are caused by the release of energy from atoms and molecules in the upper atmosphere, which becomes excited by sunlight. As the rocket sheds off its lower stage, it can be seen falling back to Earth and burning up. Then, the robotic supply ship fires its thrusters and begins its journey to dock with the ISS. What an amazing perspective to see this marvel of modern technology from. Number 8. Lunar visitors. On a full moon night in Moscow, Russia, a photographer sets up his camera to capture detailed shots of the moon. But what he records leaves scientists questioning their understanding of extraterrestrial life. At first, 3 black clusters are seen flying over the moon that puzzled the photographer. Soon, many others appear, leaving him perplexed. These can't be human-made satellites. For one, they don't orbit that area. Secondly, their movements are erratic, changing speeds and directions. Lastly, their size. If they were near the moon, they would have to be around 40 times bigger than the largest man-made satellite. Sure, scientists chalked it up to migrating birds. But seriously, do you buy that? With that level of zoom, capturing moon craters, wouldn't birds in Earth's atmosphere appear much larger? It makes me wonder, were humans really the first to set foot on the moon, or has it been hosting visitors for a while now? Number 9. Perseverance landing. After an incredible 7-month-long journey through the vast expanse of space, this is the historic moment when Perseverance, a robotic rover, is about to touch down on the surface of Mars. At a height of roughly 7 miles or 11 kilometers above Mars, the spacecraft deploys its parachute and gracefully descends. The spacecraft had a heat shield which protected it from burning upon entering the red planet's atmosphere. Since the craft is now slowing down in preparation for landing, the heat shield's mission is accomplished. So, it is stripped off to make the craft lighter. When the heat shield sheds, Perseverance's onboard cameras provide our first look at the Martian surface, revealing the rugged beauty of our neighboring planet. Guiding Perseverance down now is the descent stage, a stunning piece of engineering resembling an octagonal prism with legs containing rocket engines to ensure a successful landing on Mars. Man, doesn't this just make you happy? What a time to be alive, witnessing such a fantastic technological advancement. As Perseverance descends to within 300 meters of the Martian surface, here comes the awesome sky crane operation. Rocket engines from the descent stage kick up dust clouds as they carefully maneuver Perseverance, ensuring a precise landing on the alien terrain below. And then, with a gentle touch, Perseverance deploys its wheels just moments before touchdown, securing its place in the milestone of space exploration. As the descent stage bids farewell, cuts the cable and flies away from the scene, Perseverance stands tall on Mars. And of course, back at NASA headquarters, cheers erupt as the team celebrates this incredible achievement. Number 10. Man-made shooting star. When something from space falls into Earth's atmosphere, the increasing speed of the object and the friction with Earth's atmosphere cause it to burn. That's what happens when a meteor enters Earth's surface, giving us the phenomenon of a shooting star. But watch this sparkling shooting star captured from the ISS when, after 20 years of service, the PIR's module is undocked and meets its final stage. After entering Earth's atmosphere, it kept burning for 6 minutes, providing this stunning visual. Number 11. Solar eruptions. The sun is like one giant ball of fury, with explosions happening all the time. And sometimes it throws out a solar flare, shooting light and radiation across massive distances. Other times, it gets a bit more angry and treats us to a show of coronal rain. This footage is straight from the Solar Dynamics Observatory, showing how coronal mass ejected from the sun's surface cools and condenses in its atmosphere. This coronal mass exists in the fourth state of matter, plasma. Wait, did you know 99% of the visible matter in the universe is in a plasma state? Mind-blowing, huh? So plasma's like gas, but ionized. And when you throw electric charges into a changing magnetic field, you get some funky patterns. But let's not dive too deep into the physics stuff. Instead, let's see how these complex magnetic fields cause the coronal mass to fall back down in a loop pattern. This fiery looping rain looks pretty majestic, right? But get this, it's over 5 times taller than Earth's diameter. It's some of the coolest outer space footage you'll ever see, though it's technically over 50,000 degrees hot. Although the magnetic field itself is invisible, its presence is beautifully outlined by the plasma. Watch as it is forced to move along its lines and gently fall back down. It's kind of mesmerizing, don't you think? How something so dangerous that can wipe out all life on Earth could also be so calming to watch? Number 12. Satellite train. Elon Musk and his SpaceX crew have been up to some mind-blowing stuff in astronomy, particularly with their advancements in rocket science, satellite technology, and more cool science-y stuff. You see these streaks of light zipping across the night sky? No, these are not UFOs. This is also one of Elon's doings. That's the Starlink satellite train, one of their coolest projects yet. They're basically sending thousands of tiny satellites whizzing around Earth, beaming internet signals to all corners of the globe. Having the internet everywhere sounds awesome, right? But watching these satellite trains is a whole other level of cool. People all over the globe are gathering their binoculars and telescopes to catch a glimpse of these satellite trains. It's become a hobby for some to observe these man-made constellations snaking through the skies above us. I wonder what Elon will come up with next. Number 13. Spying craft. At the International Space Station, 2 astronauts were out on a routine spacewalk for maintenance, but what Peggy Whitson's GoPro captured raised some eyebrows among conspiracy theorists. In the background, this strange object seemingly moving along with the ISS's orbit, almost as if it was spying on it. Cue the Black Knight satellite conspiracy theory, a mythical satellite supposedly deployed by aliens to keep an eye on humans. However, the theory fails to stand up under scrutiny. For one, it's way too close to the satellite. If it were real, it would likely be in a different orbit. Plus, it's pretty small in size. The astronauts, on the other hand, appear unconcerned about it, dismissing it as just another piece of space junk. So let's rewind the tape and get to the bottom of this mystery. Turns out, the 2 astronauts were out there to install shields on the common berthing port. In the process, one of the shields got lost, leaving the astronauts with no choice but to let it be. So I guess there is a mundane explanation for this weird space footage. Number 14. Microgravity wonders. You know, we go about our daily lives, hardly realizing how much gravity influences everything we do, but put yourself in a microgravity environment, and suddenly, it's a whole new world. Just look at this water droplet casually floating around, and it's mesmerizing, really. Back on Earth, gravity plays a role in how liquids mix, but up here, it's a whole different story. These scientists had a field day with a new 4K camera, capturing every detail. They didn't stop at color water droplets, oh no. They threw in some effervescent tablets for good measure, just to spice things up a bit. Watching how the surface tension of the liquid keeps the molecules together in one big droplet is fascinating, and every now and then, you'll catch the tiniest droplet flaring off into the unknown. It's amazing to watch. Imagine experiencing this firsthand. Number 15. Space Tesla. Space debris is often just junk drifting in space, but then SpaceX decided to flex its Falcon Heavy muscle by sending Elon Musk's Tesla Roadster into orbit. Liftoff from Kennedy Space Center, and the Falcon Heavy, with the car as payload, was off on its journey toward Mars. Strapped in the driver's seat, a mannequin sporting a spacesuit. Now, this wasn't your typical scientific mission. It was more about flaunting Falcon Heavy's versatility beyond satellite launches. Unfortunately, our mannequin pilot seems to have lost his way, leaving Elon Musk's car stuck in a heliocentric orbit around the sun. Poor guy's just drifting in the void, accompanied only by David Bowie's Life on Mars playing on repeat. Number 16. Aurora Chasers. Russian cosmonaut Ivan Bagner sets up his camera aboard the International Space Station, hoping to capture truly amazing auroras. However, to his surprise, he records something even more extraordinary. Just before the dancing auroras, a group of lights appears, seemingly 5 objects flying alongside with equal distance between them. What could they be? Meteors? Satellites? The truth remains unknown. Ivan playfully dubs them as special guests. While these guests remain a mystery for now, experts speculate that satellites are the likely cause. But is that really true? Number 17. Blazing Art. In 2021, fueled by strong winds, dry plants, and scorching temperatures, the Caldor fire in California rapidly escalated. Its explosive expansion was monitored by the GOE's 17 satellite. From space, the scale of the fire, along with the gases and smoke clouds billowing across the region, was unmistakable. While the images taken were undeniably stunning, the devastation inflicted by these flames over the course of several weeks was staggering. They serve as a sharp reminder of the crucial need of preparation, reaction, and community resilience in the face of natural disasters. Number 18. Close Call. Just as SpaceX's Falcon 9 separates from the Dragon capsule, an unidentified object streaks between the Falcon 9 and its Dragon companion. What could it be? There's no definitive answer. Take another look and take your best guess. The rocket, carrying a crew of 4 to the International Space Station, sheds its components 12 minutes after liftoff. Suddenly, a mysterious object approaches at considerable speed, perpendicular to their trajectory. If the separation had occurred just a minute later, who knows what disaster might have unfolded? While authorities claim it's likely just ice from another part of the craft, that explanation doesn't quite add up, considering the angle of that object's movement. Fortunately, the timing was right, and the craft was safe, with all crew members making it to the space station in one piece. Number 19. Moon Melody. Ever heard that sound can't travel in space? Well, apparently it can. In 2016, NASA declassified some footage from 1969, where Apollo 10 is flying over the dark side of the moon, a place so remote you can't even see the Earth. Astronauts Eugene Cernan and John Young suddenly heard a continuous high-pitched sound, like a whistle. Hearing something in a place where there's supposed to be silence? Terrifying, right? But these astronauts? Nah, they're just chilling and vibing to the space music. Imagine if this was a final warning from aliens, and humans were so unbothered about it. Turns out, this weird phenomenon was probably caused by radio waves interfering from 2 different spacecraft. Number 20. Martian Eclipse. Did you know that the Sun is about 400 times bigger than Earth's moon, and by a stroke of celestial coincidence, it's also about 400 times farther away? This quirky cosmic alignment makes them appear almost the same size when viewed from Earth. So during a solar eclipse, we get that captivating ring of fire effect, or what some call a chipped sun. But things look a bit different on the red planet. Mars boasts 2 tiny moons that aren't exactly round. So when these moons pass in front of the Sun, it creates a unique eclipse. Check out this snapshot from Perseverance's camera showing Phobos causing a solar eclipse on Mars. Now, you might wonder why Mars's moons aren't nice and round like our moon. Well, one theory suggests that they were once wandering asteroids snagged by Mars's gravity, eventually settling into orbit around the planet. Number 21. Mercury Transit. The Sun is unbelievably massive. We all know that, but witnessing Mercury Transit in front of it, that gives me chills. I mean, just look at Mercury. It's like this tiny speck in front of this fiery giant. Oh, and just for reference, Earth is about 2.8 times bigger than Mercury, so you can imagine how small it really is. Space is just so incredible, isn't it? A colossal ball of fire fueling us with energy from its explosive reactions. And here we are, just tiny specks moving precisely in its vastness. Number 22, no CGI. For all you stargazers who've stuck around, this is a real treat. What you're seeing isn't some computer-generated image, but our Earth's very own breathtaking night sky that many have forgotten due to all the light pollution. It's nature's masterpiece, reminding us of the vastness of space and all it has to offer. Gosh, this makes me want to get away to a remote town with no light pollution and just soak in the stars all night long. Number 23, gorilla on board. Finally, a light-hearted moment in space. Living miles away from your home planet can be quite the challenge, but this astronaut knows how to keep the spirits high. Enter Scott Kelly secretly had a full-size gorilla costume smuggled aboard the International Space Station. Emerging from the box like a boss straight out of a King Kong movie, Scott wastes no time in springing into action to give his colleagues a good scare. I mean, the last thing any astronaut expects to encounter in space is a wild animal, but when Tim Peake suddenly comes face to face with this unexpected species on board, survival instincts kick in hard. Poor Tim, thinking quickly, takes off in a sprint, trying to outpace the gorilla and save his skin. Who knew a gorilla chase would become part of the astronaut job description? That's all from my side on the thrilling tales of cosmic mysteries and space adventures. What are your thoughts on these intriguing footages from space? Do you have a favorite moment? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you've encountered any peculiar sightings or stories related to space exploration, feel free to share those too. While you are here, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more captivating content. Let me know what you would like us to explore next in the vast expanse of space. Until then, goodbye.